Hey guys, it's Steve Woods from 97.3 The Fan, and you're watching Daygo Sports Show.
Daygo, this is San Diego. Hungry for them pesos. Maybe you should stay close. Yeah, stay close. Hey, Daygo. Every day even as your day goes by.
Welcome back to Daygo Sports Show. Today we take you to the broadcasting offices of 97.3 The Fan, the San Diego Padres flagship radio network. Today we are proud to present the professional broadcaster, Mr. Steve Woods. I will now let him demonstrate his unique talents as a professional broadcaster.
He's going to interview me for his show, not you, just me, today. Sorry. Does that make you mad? A little hurt.
No, I'm fine. It's fine. I've noticed that he's been getting some B-roll behind the scenes. It's been mostly of you.
Still got love for you, Ben.
Texas Roadhouse just walked in.
Yeah. They brought us some ribs.
Our friends
Ribs?
at Texas
Yep.
Roadhouse, fine. Ribs are always good.
Well, my wife's not listening, because I will then go.
No, you're not going to have it. Bite.
Carbs, no carbs.
I'm going to murder this after the show.
Murder.
You don't, it's weird when you work morning radio. You don't think you could eat a Philly cheesesteak at 6 a.m., but you absolutely can.
Hannah's going to murder me. Just put me on this diet together, and
Oh,
Just speak of the angel.
hello?
Don't eat the ribs.
What'd you say?
Do not eat.
I can't hear you. You're cutting out. There's bad connection. I'm going to start hardcore on Monday.
Appreciate you guys joining me again for this week's episode of the Daygo Sports Show. It's a special one. We are at the 97.3 The Fan Studios, home of Odyssey Sports, with Steve Woods, co-host of the Ben Woods Show for 97.3 The Fan, Padres flagship station. Thank you for coming.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
your time,
Thanks
man.
for having me.
Yeah. So, very happy to be here. I reached out to him on Twitter asking him how to kind of get in the radio business and stuff, and you immediately didn't go Hollywood on me, and that made me like this dude is at the pinnacle in terms of, you know, for San Diego sports and on the radio and one of the main stations, one of the top hosts, and you just, hey, no problem. You answered my question, had a conversation with me, and then this idea for the sports show came about, and you were down with it, and I'm just so thankful. I again wanted to say thank you again, man.
It's my pleasure, man. I've always tried to. Number one, I was talking to a buddy about it over the weekend, actually, and he said, "You must get so many messages," and I said, "I do." I said, "But you know, while there's some days where it's like, man, I cannot get to everything, but I try to message every single person back, especially somebody that has interest in what we do or how we do it, because I'm kind of like, I fell into radio, and have realized since I got the gig, like, I love it, and I have fought to stay in it hard, you know, and so I kind of think about the day when those messages stop coming, you know, like once I'm done and walk away, and it's like, I wonder if I'll be sad, and I think I will, you know, when those messages stop coming. So I've always tried to respond, and you know, I'm a pretty congenial guy as it is, but you know, I always try to respond and give people, you know, best answers I can.
It is greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you again for this opportunity. So let's touch on, or tell us where you're from and where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Dallas, Texas for half my life, and then my dad got transferred. We moved to Connecticut, which was a bit of a culture shock, living in the Northeast and snow, and but it was awesome. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, pretty idyllic town, beautiful old town called Simsbury. Very, very nice, but different, you know, as a kid that was born and raised in Texas. But it gave me an idea of how you know, other people live, and the Northeast is wild. I mean, we played sports in the street year round, you know, baseball, football, basketball, street hockey, like lacrosse. We played everything, and I loved it, man. And then we ended up moving back to Texas middle of my junior year, which was a little bit tough. But we moved back to the same town that I was originally from, and I still had friends, so transition was a little easier. And then I was a nomad, and for so many years I just could not get my grounding at all. And so I went to a few different colleges, ended up in Chicago, which was a total game changer for me. and lived there for a few years after. Back to Texas, been here for 14 years now, and this is home. And it was home the minute I got here. I just said, all right, whatever I got to do to stay here, I'm going to do. So I've been looking for that place forever, and I found it in San Diego, and I have loved every day I've been here, man. It's the best. Yeah. It's the best.
Talk to us about how did you get to San Diego from you being a nomad going through your journey? How did San Diego become a destination? It's
like the luckiest guy in the world. I had worked in radio in Dallas, but not on air. I was a sales guy. And I met a morning show called The Mikey Show. They were from California. So they got hired to do the mornings at the station I worked at. I was a sales guy at a station called 97.1 The Eagle. And I met these guys, and they liked me, and I liked them. And they said to me, what are you doing selling? You belong on the air. So they would bring me in, and they put me on, and we do, crazy bits and stuff like that. And so I didn't think anything of it. They ended up getting fired. But they came back here, and I get a phone call one day. I'll never forget it, man. It was December 31st, and it was 2010. Okay. And I got a call, and this guy, Mikey, said, dude, I have a show here. It's gone belly up. I'm at a new station. I have to build a whole entire show. I've always thought you'd be talented and good. Do you want to do it? And it took me 2 seconds. And I was I was suit and tie, making six figures, like managing a team, and I go, I'm in. And he goes, I'm serious, man. I go, dude, I'm in. And so I went back to work, and I had to take vacation days. And I remember taking a few days off, flying out here to interview, and got the gig, and then went back, gave my notice, and I walked out, and we were on the air February 1st. So it was 1 month exactly of nervousness, paperwork done, trying to find a place to live, and I got that gig, and it was amazing. And then things happen in this business that are unbelievable. And he's no longer here in San Diego, and they left me in there to do mornings by myself after about a year and a half. And so I did that, parlayed it into a decent little career, and then it all changed when I got the call from Mighty 1090 asking me if I wanted to partner up with Ben and Paul, and who had already been working together a little bit. And then, we found that sweet spot for our show, and it's been meteoric. It's been really fun, and the ride has been incredible.
So talk to us about you being a nomad, being in all these different places, and the first impression you step off the plane in San Diego.
I lost my mind. And I'll never forget, the day I got here, it was actually raining. And I still was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then Mikey would pick me up, and he'd drive around, and he lived in Carlsbad. So we drive up through Encinitas, and I just went, I can't believe this. I cannot believe how perfect this is. And then the weather, the people. And then I was accepted right away by the on-air community that listened to his show because, again, he'd been back in California for a while, but he would bring me on a couple times a year, so people kind of knew who I was. That helped me a little bit. But, man, it was just, it's the greatest place I've ever been. And I almost get to the point where I don't even like traveling because I love it so much here that it doesn't make a lot of sense. We're going to Hawaii this year as a family, and I'm like, for what? We live a block from the beach. I don't know what we're doing, but it'll be fun. But I've been looking for that place, that I wanted to stay. And never once have I been homesick. I've never missed Texas. I don't claim Texas. I'm San Diego until I die, whether I'm on the radio or not. So.
What was the first experience of someone taking you to a San Diego taco shop?
I lost my mind.
Different than Texas.
Different. And so it took me probably like it does anybody, a good 6 months to go, okay, that's better. Yeah. That's better. And now when I go home to Texas and see my family, I don't eat Mexican food. I'm like, I can't do it. I used to love fajitas. Right. And they don't really make fajitas out here, carne asada. So I try not to eat a ton of it because, I'm bigger and I want to not be. So I love it so much though now. Yeah. It's just my favorite.
So you're in San Diego, you love it, you get acclimated. When you got here, you said you went up to the North County and got a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the places that shocked you, like as you're exploring San Diego here for the first time, to say, wow, this was impressionable to you?
Oh man, and the cool thing is right when I moved here, I started playing adult baseball. And it was a good way for me to meet a bunch of friends. And so I played everywhere. I lived in North Park, was the first place I ever lived, and I loved it. I thought it was so fun. I've lived in San Marcos. I've lived in Encinitas. I've tried to live, as many places as I could. But I played baseball, so I played all over the county. Played it down in Chula. Played real close to the border. Played a ton of different ballparks around here, and got to see a lot of the county, and I have friends in every walk of life from every city, or every little city in San Diego. But there's just nothing about it I don't like. Nothing.
Yeah. So talk to us about your getting on the morning show. You had an opportunity with Paulie and Ben, and ended up parlaying into the flagship station for the Padres.
Yeah.
So have you worked with a radio station that was the main station for a sports team?
No.
before?
So when we were at 1090, I think we were the Rams San Diego flagship and the Aztecs when we were there, but it was different. It wasn't. I'm a big baseball fan, and when I met Ben, I said, look, I've done a little bit of fill-in sports radio. You're the sports guy. I'll bring some of the other elements, and let's see if this thing works. And I don't know that either of us thought it would after a few months, but we were, it was a job, and we were making money, and we got along, well enough, and then. Then 1090 went away. They stopped paying their bills. They pulled the plug on us, and we were out of a job. And then 97.3 The Fan had coincidentally just let their morning guy go, and so we slid right in here, and it's been history ever since. But it's fun. It's a different feeling, being on the flagship. And I think the one thing I would impart to people is like, Ben is who he is, and I am who I am. If I'm happy about the team, I'm going to tell you I'm happy. If I'm mad about the team, I'm going to tell you I'm mad. They've never once slapped our wrist and said, you can't say that. You can't say that about us. And people don't believe me. And I think that's probably the most frustrating part of the gig. Mm-hmm. I'm a genuinely, I love baseball and I love the team. And so, if I come in and I sound like a cheerleader, that's because that's how I'm feeling that day. Right. And if I am negative about the team, that's because that's how I'm feeling. I'm trying to be myself. And do you have to hold back stories you hear and rumors you hear? Sure. I'm not going to go on there and tell about every rumor I hear, but for the most part, what you're hearing from us is our genuine feelings and reaction every day.
I noticed that immediately that you're the same person on air, off the air, on our conversation, even in person.
Yeah, I try to be.
Yeah,
man.
oh, no, you not try. You definitely do.
Thank
I
you.
definitely want to give you your accolades on that and respect for that. Dealing with the Padres, did you have kind of oh my gosh, that's not saying you're starstruck?
No, I'm starstruck. Straight up.
So what was the biggest starstruck, that moment of wow, that's so-and-so?
The first time I got a media credential was so funny. We go up to the press box. Paulie was with me. I'd never been in a press box before, so I didn't know the rules, that you couldn't cheer and stuff. And so it's Joey Lucchese's first start. He picks somebody up. I'm like, yeah! And Paulie elbows me. He's like, you can't cheer in here. And I go, well, this sucks. I don't want to be in here. I'm not one of these guys.
One of those guys.
I'm one of those guys.
Yeah.
And so I've only been to the press box maybe 3 times since. It's not for me. When we went down and interviewed Fernando for the first time, when we walked on the field the first time and Manny walked by, I'm like, oh, I'm still a little kid, dude. And even at spring training, people have accused me. They're like, oh man, Wood's just cheerleader fanboy. And I'm like, yep. I mean, what are you going, I love baseball. And these are my heroes. Right. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to get excited when Manny Machado is hanging out. Yeah. I lose my mind. Anytime he walks by, I still get Ha-Seong Kim walked by at spring training, and I went, God, look at the aura on that guy. So I get it. I'm old enough to be some of their dads, but I love them, and I always will. That's never going to change, because when that changes, that means that I've changed, and that means I probably don't love the game like I used to, because I get tripped out when I see those guys, and when they're talking to us and know our names and stuff. It's it's a surreal, weird feeling, but that joy I have for it is still there.
Definitely could tell it's genuine, and I can't imagine the interaction they have and the appreciation they could have for you being genuine with them, and not having a certain like have to be
a sports writer.
Hey, like how we're talking now, how you talked to me when I first interacted with you, the same thing, and I bet they appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, we've developed some really good relationships with some of the guys. I think Manny is one. Manny was a bit of a tough nut to crack. But now when he sees us, he dabs us up, says what's up, knows our names. And, I know his wife, and they're just great people. Like, they're just really good people. And, it's been really special to develop relationships with those guys, because I think we get better stuff from them. We had the best interview we ever had with Manny out at spring training, and we didn't even have to ask him anything. He took the mic and just laid into it. And that came from a little comfortability. Knowing we have his back, knowing we're rooting for him, we're not out to get him. And I think, there's an argument to be made. Like, there are some sports people, and I'm not saying that they're wrong and I'm right, but it's constantly negative, constantly negative. And I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I want to see the team win. I don't want them to do badly so I can pick them apart. We want to see them win. It's fun, to be part of the winning squad.
Yes, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. What is your favorite moment in this industry for these years you've been in San Diego in this station?
God,
what one or two moments stand out to you like this was special?
Honestly, there's been so many over the years. Like being at I was at the Dodger game when they won. Now, I left early. I did. Because I was going to get in a fight.
Oh.
I was going to get in a fight.
It was almost go time.
I was like, I got to get out of here. And I went home. I made it in time to see the win. And Paulie was there. He stayed the whole time. He was running around down there. It was awesome. Yes. But for me, I'm a homebody. I like to be at home. But I mean, we've had, honestly, our moments have come from the three of us. Some of the most side-splitting laughter that I've gotten from Ben. Honestly, some of the things that we've made him do, some of the things he's agreed to do, some of the audio stuff that we've done. We just have a good vibe. We get along a lot. We're brothers. And we love working together. And like today's a good example. We really didn't have anything to talk about, but we made it work for 4 hours and actually had a pretty good show. And that comes from trust and being genuine to each other, and kind of knowing each other and what makes us tick. So, but honestly, like, it's really those moments. We've gotten to do so much cool stuff, so much. But it's the moments where, you laughed so hard, fell out of your chair, putting Ben in a mask and making him eat food that he doesn't like. I mean, it's just some of the stupidest stuff, and it's just such good memories.
The rap when he
would
rap,
rap,
oh, that's one of my favorites that you guys do.
He's, I'm white. He's the whitest dude on the planet.
You're not white, really?
He's the whitest dude I've ever seen.
Right.
And to, make him read Genuine Pony and watch his face is like, I'll never forget it.
Right.
I'll never forget it.
So talk to us about the impact of being a father and a husband. I noticed that, one of the things that we immediately related to is I am a father as well. Mm-hmm. My kids played sports, and I see your kids are younger, and I remember messaging you like, enjoy this, you're going to blink and they'll be in high school.
Yeah.
And I sent you a picture of my son in high school. So talk to us about how important it is being a father and being present, because you're an amazing father, and how important your wife and your kids are to you.
Being a dad is all I ever wanted to be. And I knew that from a young age. I wanted to be a dad. And when we had our firstborn son, Bo, I said, well, I'm good. He's perfect. I'm good. And then Hannah said she wanted to have another one. And I said, oh, another one. I said, he was so hard. And then I'm so glad that she always wins. But she won that argument, and we have Taylor. They're everything to me. And my family's everything to me. And they are just the difficulty that they bring, along with the light that they bring every day, is remarkable. And they're, they always talk about like, what's your reason? It's them, totally. Like, watching them play sports, watching them learn, watching them work hard to get better at things, there's no better feeling as a dad. Like, I don't care if they make the big leagues. I don't care if they play college. Like, I just want them to be happy. And I want them to know, you know, my dad was always around. Because it did surprise me about parenthood. It's the biggest surprise I had in parenthood. How few parents take it seriously. Honestly, like I was blown away. And my parents were amazing. And they worked really, really hard to give us everything we wanted. And, you know, I see a lot of it and I go, I can't let somebody else raise my kids. Like, as nice as it would be to say, all right, we're going out for a weekend, take the kids. I'm gone for 15 minutes and I miss them terribly. And I feel like, what am I missing out on? So it just was, and it's ingrained in my wife too. Like, we're both very present parents, and it's important. She's incredible, manages the whole house, gets everybody signed up for everything. And coaching's been ridiculous. It's been so much fun, and I love it, man. I love being a dad more than anything in the world, and they're my whole world, both of them. They're the best part of every day.
Yeah, there's a couple quotes I want to share with you about being a father. One of them is, I'm a father first and everything else.
Absolutely.
And then everything else.
Everything is after that.
Exactly.
Yep.
And the other one is, the greatest gift you can give your child is to love their mother.
That's it. Yeah, 100%. And like, Hannah and I've had a lot of conversations about both of those things, you know, like, we have always put our kids first, and you wonder, you know, is our relationship suffering? But at the end of the day, like, we're together a lot, and yeah, we snap at each other and get pissed at each other like everybody does. But I think they know that we're a tight unit, you know, and we're kind of a ball-breaking family. You know, there's days where I'm like, I've had enough. Don't break my balls today. And I think my kids feel that too. But it's been such a cool experience. And the older they get, the more places we can take them. Yes. And we like to take them with us. And I've taken my son is 6. He's already been to 7 concerts, rock and roll concerts. Like, I try to take him everywhere because I want him to experience it, and I want him to hang out with his dad.
No greater joy than fatherhood.
No, there's nothing.
One of the last things I want to touch on with you, what advice would you give someone who's listening or watching that wants to get into sports media in some capacity?
It's such a hard thing for me to answer because I got so lucky. I think my number one piece of advice is get in the building somehow. So I started in promotions with a college degree, promotions making $8 an hour or whatever. But I loved music and I wanted to be in the station. So I got in, and then they thought, you'd be a good sales guy. You know, young, sharp, okay, come on. They trained me how to be a sales guy. So I got that. Then I met the morning show guy that thought I'd be good on the air, and I got the chance. And not everybody's going to get that opportunity. But I think first and foremost is get in the building. The other thing too is, I don't know what it is, but like, I've never been afraid to ask people that were successful how they got successful. So when I moved to town, I asked Mikey, who I worked with, I said, well, who's the best? And he told me. And I reached out to a guy named Dave Rickards, who was on DSC for 30 years, day one. And literally day one, and wrote him a Facebook message. And he wrote me back, and he's been a longtime friend and mentor for me. I tried to meet as many people as I could. I worked at 94.9 with a girl named Hillary. She's still on. She's at 91X. But when Hillary would come in to take over, I would sit in there with her for an hour and ask questions and watch her work. There's some of that that's missing. I think there's too much ego in the business right now where like people are like, no, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it my way. Well, the blueprint's been laid. You know, the groundwork's been laid. Ask the people that have been successful. So that's one of the reasons like I love telling people like get in the building and then ask questions of the people that are doing it. And you never know what opportunities can present. And once you're in the building and you're willing to do anything, it makes you valuable. And then, you know, show notice, usually like, we got to put that dude on, right? And then, you know, who knows? There's opportunity out there. But I just, that's my number one piece of advice. Find a way to get in the building, whether it's promotions, whether it's, you know, intern, whatever. Get in the building and see what you can do with it.
Well, I am so thankful.
My pleasure.
That it all started from just a random, hey, Steve, I have a question on this and that, and to be here, and that you took a chance on my vision to say, I have time, I got blessed to be in my position. I'm going to give someone an opportunity to do their thing and utilize this space with you.
It's my pleasure.
And I couldn't be more thankful.
I'm glad we're friends,
yes,
man.
definitely. And I'm very thankful for your time. And,
you keep up your hustle, dude, because I see you working 7 nights a week, doing all the stuff that you're doing. And that's on the right track, man. Creating your own thing is key. Yes. And there's money to be made on YouTube. There's room for it. So I welcome everybody.
Yes.
I don't look at anybody really as competition. We have our thing, and that's who we are. And but yeah, just keep grinding. That's my advice.
Much appreciated.
My pleasure.
And thank you for watching the Daygo Sports Show.
From humble beginnings to a successful professional radio career, Steve Woods has managed to succeed in business and family alike and has no problem doling out respect and recognition.
I've never seen someone so committed to high school sports as you. Ever. Yeah, ever. That's amazing.
All right. If we had a 3-hour show, it would be the best 3-hour show in the country.
All coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Can I combine like a Top Golf with like George's at the Cove and put those two together as my restaurant matchup?
How about explicit and Top Golf?
Ooh,
Would that be
now
something
we're
that you'd be
talking.
interested? Delilah is running up with
Strip
With
club
all of your-
/ driving range.
all of your balls, so for you to hit. Topless Top Golf.
Topless golf. Topless golf. You have
Topless
come
golf.
up with the match.
Like top
the matchup.
parentheses,
Yeah,
list.
let's
golf.
Sold. Where are you going?
$1 billion idea.
I'm going to hit balls again. Again, you're going to go hit balls. Yeah.
Work on my game.
I'm working my game.
Gotta
Is
practice. Practice
really,
makes perfect.
really bad right now, but I am committed to getting better on the course. That's copyright trademark by Ben & Woods. That's the next thing. Ben & Woods topless golf. Not us topless golf. Nobody wants to see that. The worst thing that you want to see.
Put your tops back on.
Hey guys, Steve Woods from 97.3 The Fan. You're tuned into Matrix Sports.
Matrix ENT.